In this video, I'm going to teach you how to build your first sales campaign for e-commerce businesses. This setup will work for every brand, especially new brands getting started, but especially brands spending anywhere between a few $100s a month all the way up to $10,000 a month. After $10,000 a month, there's a few new campaigns I recommend building, and you can see that in kind of my advanced campaign build. All right, to get started, click Create. Go ahead and click Sales. By the way, you're always going to want to use sales if you're an e-commerce business. There is never, almost ever a scenario where you want to use awareness, traffic, engagement, leads, or app promotion. You need to remember, you always want to optimize for the final conversion event that you want. What this means is you might be saying, hey, TJ, we want to bring in a bunch of people to the traffic and into the funnel. That's amazing, and that's true. While that is true, you need to understand how these options function. So with an awareness objective, you have to understand Meta's job is to run as much traffic and ads into their system so they make more money, and they don't really care about advertisers all that much. So when you run an awareness objective, they're just going to put it out there to anyone who will watch your video. As you can see video views on this section. For traffic clicks, this will be folks that are willing to just click and get landing page views. And if you've ever spent any meaningful money on Meta ads, you'll know if you optimize for traffic clicks, you just get people who just click, and they never ever come back and purchase. It's because, again, when you tell Meta very directly, I only want link clicks, it can go get infinite amount of link clicks and they won't be good clicks. So just be thoughtful when you're selecting these options or these campaign objectives, because I would think about this in the way that Meta kind of takes your direction literally when you select these options. Same thing for engagement. You can use these if you want to increase followers. I don't really recommend that, especially if you're a smaller business just trying to get sales in the door. Leads is great if you're trying to generate leads, but for this video, we're wanting to do sales. App promotion, obviously if you have an app, sales for generating and making some money. All right, done with my spiel, hit continue. We're gonna go ahead and call this MT Sales USA crew neck. So for this, I'm wanting to advertise our single crew neck here. We want to set a CBO budget. We no longer use ABO budgets ever. My recommendation for this, assuming that you have a spend that you can spend $50 a day, you want to set your daily budget. Even if you spend $10 a day, $5 a day, $20, $30, $40, $50, you want to set it at a level that you feel comfortable spending for a full 30 days without moving it up and down. All right, we're going to go ahead and click new sales ad set. Make sure you select website, maximize number of conversions, conversion event, optimize for purchases. Scroll down. All those settings you can leave. All right, so in your location, if you're targeting anywhere outside of one location, that needs a new campaign. So if you're wanting to target the US, UK, Canada, Australia, all of those are separate campaigns. The reason for that is the way that each of those locations performs is very different and nuanced. Australia, for example, will react to a different set of ads. Same thing for the UK. And the CPMs and metrics and click-through rates are all very different. And if you put them all in one, all of the data and your CPCs and your clicks and all of it gets blended together, and it's really hard to identify any trends. I see this as an issue in accounts all the time, and when I separate it out, that alone will improve efficiencies. All right, so what we're gonna do here is I'm assuming in this scenario that this is a newer campaign, maybe some newer ad accounts that are gonna be setting this up. So we are gonna set up interests. We are also, at the end of this video, gonna duplicate and make sure we create ads that are also open and broad. So for this particular case, I do like to type in English, select all, and then I want to further limit the reach of my ads. Meta's gonna throw up a scary message here. Go ahead and click further limit. And then we're gonna go ahead and find a detailed targeting option. I just wanna use one. So I'm gonna use patriotism or something. I know it's in here somewhere. Yeah. So this ideally is gonna be folks that are patriots or whatever that means in Meta. And we'll see the estimated audience size. So now this is the single interest that I'm targeting. I like to do it by using single interest. A lot of folks will go in here and dump a bunch of different ones. So let's say for whatever reason I wanted to add in veterans from the US. Awesome. Now, I am actually not opposed to this setup and strategy. The issue is you might not know which one of these converted, so you wouldn't know what to scale. I like doing it by single interests in the ad sets, so I can then come back and build this out later if I want to test and know exactly which interest is driving results for me. So we have patriotism here. We're gonna go ahead and Scroll down. We're going to not touch anything with placements. Next. All right, so now we're at the ad level. I want to make sure that my naming conventions are good for reporting later. So image, ad, bar 1, which means ad variation 1. And that's good for me for now. All right, so I'm going to go down to my media section, set up creative, add an image ad, click media. I'm going to go ahead and find image that I want to use. All right, I got a good image there. You can see the different aspect ratios. For this, I'm going to go ahead and just let it crop and then focus on this. I don't really worry about horizontal. If you have a horizontal image, go ahead and put that in there. We're going to come back and add in text later. You want to add in business AI. I like to use overlays as well sometimes, so I'll go ahead and actually turn that on. Visual touch-ups. I like to use this as well sometimes. Now, this you need to make a decision on by your own kind of business and test and see how it works. It is a new features. You can see they're in beta. So test at your own risk and just kind of see how it works. Otherwise, no problem with just leaving it on. I do not use text improvements. The reason for that is that it'll swap your headlines and your primary text. And sometimes you don't want that. I particularly like my headlines to show up where I place them. So there's that. I like to add on ad animation. I think that's can be cool sometimes. And then adding product tags. I'd turn off flex media, and then I'm gonna turn off music. Sometimes I leave that on, but oftentimes it's kind of weird random music that doesn't make sense for the image. Hit done. All right, so now I have my image loaded up on the right here, primary text. Now I'm gonna go ahead and grab some copy to put in here. All right, so I went ahead and added in my ad copy. I recommend adding in 3 pieces of primary text and 3 headlines. The thing to know is that Meta is gonna rotate all of these primary text and all of these headlines with each other. So you wanna make sure all variations work together. And because I'm gonna be driving to just this product page, that works for me. I strongly recommend to not use a description text because oftentimes that will truncate your main headline and you don't want that to happen. I strongly recommend using Shop Now. You'll notice here I collapsed the AI generated text. It created a lot of options for me. I do not like these, and so I like to turn them off and then turn this off. Sometimes Meta will automatically turn this back on, so you want to just make sure that stays off. And then same thing here, I went ahead and turned it off here as well. All right, so now I'm getting this notification to add products or site links, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Go to Creative Setup. I'm going to grab the URL that I want to drive to, put that in, and now it'll give me these different site links I can use. So for this case, I'm going to go ahead and use sweatshirts, and I'm going to leave crew neck sweatshirt on, and then I'm gonna leave USA crew necks on. All right, so you can see these will show up as extensions for people to click on, and it will take them to my website. If I want to add in more, I can add them here. I'm also going to connect my catalog and look for, I'm actually going to go ahead and enable all products so you guys can see what this will look like. Typically what you want to do is make sure that you have only the specific product page products enabled or specific collections, but I want you to see how it'll show up on the side here. All right, now you can see that Meta is pulling in those products underneath the actual ad. All right, so now we're checking out the personalized destination option. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off. What this will do is allow Meta to drive people to whatever page it thinks will do the best for them, and we don't want that right now. I like to leave on shop because this allows Meta to drive people to my Instagram shop where people can purchase there. This is really good for products anywhere between $30 to $80. I find that after $100, I find that $100 price products or more, people typically like to purchase off a website. Because my crew necks are $50, I'm gonna leave this on. Browser add-ons, I'm gonna go ahead and keep that off because I do not want people to call me. And now, last but not least, make sure your pixels are connected. Go to your URL parameters, and this is why it's important for you to have good naming conventions, because this is how we are going to dynamically set our UTMs to pull in where our ads are running. So campaign name set like this will pull in this campaign name on the top left here. Ad set name will pull in the ad set here. Site source name, this will allow Meta to pull if it's Facebook or Instagram, and ad name will pull obviously the name of our ad right here. So in our Google Analytics reporting and Shopify reporting, we'd be able to see all that data. So now our ad's ready to go and we can publish. All right, so now we're back at the campaign level. The campaign has just been launched. We're gonna go back into this ad set and hit duplicate. We're gonna hit continue. I guess we'll leave on original campaign, hit duplicate. And this time we wanna remove actually any targeting. So we're gonna go ahead and get rid of this and then switch to recommended setup. And we're calling this open broad. So this means we're allowing Meta to go out and find anyone that it thinks will purchase based on the conversion event we selected, and will bring in the right relevant traffic. This, for most ad accounts, if you're a brand new ad account, will take time to develop and get better. And that's why I like to launch it alongside interest segments. So you're kind of giving it guardrails while you have your interest ad sets on. And then you kind of have this open broad targeting ad set, which will learn from that and get better over time. Go ahead and hit publish. Now I actually want to build one more ad set with one more interest just to be safe. We're going to go ahead and put in veterans and then make sure our ad set is also updated with veterans. Go ahead and hit publish. All right, and now we're good to go. Our campaign is ready, and I will click into each of these ad sets to show you that we have all 3 ads in each location. Now all you have to do is launch more ads in each of these ad sets if you'd like. I would recommend, if you're gonna spend $50 a day, to do no more than 5 ads per ad set. All right, thanks for watching this video. Let me know if you have any questions, and feel free to message me if you feel like I missed a step that might be crucial for your business. I'm always happy to help and respond on our community. All right, thanks. Bye.